back with another book talk with Tracy. And today I'm going to be talking about my book, Play It Again. And I thought this was a good one to talk about next. If you'll notice, there is a painting behind me. It's, again, a painting that I did inspired by the book. I'll just go up a little bit, the saxophone. And last time in the last book talk, I was talking about the painting that I did for Conspiracy of Bones, which is the sequel to Play It Again. And you'll notice that they are sort of a similar color palette, I guess, because I sort of did them at the same time. But this one I liked enough that I actually hung it in my living room. So I'm sitting at my piano here, and that's what that is. That's the painting for that went with Play It Again, or that was inspired by the book as I was writing it. In any case, today going to talk a little bit about the book. And this is actually the very first book I ever wrote. I started writing it back in 1985 when my daughter was a newborn. And I had previously been doing a lot of art. I had just finished, convocated, I guess, from university with my degree in art education. And it just was really difficult to get all those art supplies out and then have to put them away again because we lived in a really small little place. And so I was looking for a creative outlet, something to do while she was napping. And I borrowed my mom's old typewriter, and it was an old manual typewriter, and I started clacking away writing. And I don't know exactly why I started writing this particular book. Actually, that's not true. I was listening to some music, and I guess had some fantasies running around in my head about, somebody dancing to the music. And that was sort of the first scene that I saw. And there is a scene in the book where she, the main character, Deanie, is dancing with abandon to her father's jazz music. And so I guess I saw that scene in my head, and I started writing little snippets of it. And over the years, I actually just kept on writing that story. And in fact, it took me 16 years to write this book. Yeah, 16 years. And of course, I wasn't writing full time at the time. I had my children, and I was working sometimes, and I started homeschooling, and so there was a lot of other things going on. My husband and I were in ministry, but I did continue clacking away every afternoon, even when the children were old enough to not necessarily be napping anymore. But it was like, this is Mom's quiet time. I need my little time every afternoon to write. And so that's what I did. And I ended up writing this book, and of course, I started writing it in the 80s, so it was very contemporary and current. And by the time I finished it in 2001, a lot of stuff didn't apply anymore, if I could put it that way. But I never shared it with anybody because it was one of those things very close to my heart, and it was intimidating to share your words. What if people thought it was stupid and like that? So I never actually got around to sharing it with anybody until, the mid-2000s. And then I got some feedback that at first was very devastating, but I did start submitting and got lots and lots of rejections. But that was something that really helped me. I'm sure if I would have just taken a writing course, it would have been a lot less painful. But about 10 years of rejections, and finally Play It Again did find a publisher, and it was published in 2011. So the first version came out in 2011 and looked like this. And I like this cover. Oh, and look, there's the painting on the back. There it is. But in any case, I did get the rights back to that book a few years ago, and so I decided to republish it with a refreshed cover. It is still basically the same story. It's set in the 80s, and it's like I said, near and dear to my heart because it was the very first book I ever wrote. But it does have a different cover. Actually, you can see there's several different versions. Couldn't quite make up my mind. But it is still available. And in fact, it is my free gift to anybody signing up for my newsletter. So if you would like to do that and you haven't done so already, you can head over to my website, tracykrauss.com. That's TracyKrauss.com, and you'll see how to sign up. Or if you already have and you've read the book, please leave a review and leave a comment. So that's it for this time. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the book in the next episode. Bye-bye.